Gilder with the Real Football Show. Back this week, we're going to start a weekly segment about the English Premier League and my rankings on how each team did each weekend. 2 weeks into the season, a lot of big surprises. Not really surprised who's in first place, but some surprises obviously where certain other bigger teams are. Manchester City and Arsenal have both got A pluses from me this week. The surprise with that would be they're the only two teams that have won both games. Every other team has at least a tie or obviously a loss on their records. So that's two of the teams that got an A plus from me. The next one got an A plus from me was Nottingham Forest, just being promoted for the first time in 23 years to the Premiership, and they opened up their first home game in 23 years in the Premiership, and walked away with a 1-0 victory. So that's huge. I guess again, just having been promoted, they're obviously on the short list of teams that were expected to be relegated this year. Not saying that they're not going to be, but this week A plus. Brentford is the last of the teams I have with an A plus for this week. Put a real stomping on Manchester United. As a Manchester City fan, had to make me smile. We'll get to Man U here in a little bit, but that's my A pluses. A's this week. I don't know if you watched the Chelsea Tottenham game. Excellent game. Even though it ended up in a 2-2 tie. To me, you have to give it to Chelsea that they dominated the game. Not making excuses on referees, but there's definitely some questionable referee decisions, both VAR and the ref on the field. But I have Chelsea with an A. I gave Tottenham an A minus because I don't think they played well. Definitely, they're trying to be that kind of really truly breaking into that top 4, top 6, and it was a good showing for them. But I do think Chelsea played a little bit better. I have Crystal Palace and Aston Villa with A's as well. Great games. They really have showing up and doing well. Aston Villa being Everton again. Everton, big name, but right now they're definitely struggling. There's even talk of them being relegated this year. After 2 weeks, that's not going away. Crystal Palace, again, you start looking at the teams beating, they didn't beat Liverpool, but when you look at Man City and Liverpool, where pretty much everyone's 1-2 this year, a tie against Liverpool, that's legit, and you got to give that to them. Moving down to the B's, Fulham and Brighton. Fulham, another team that's expected to be relegated this season and doing well. So had a great result, but definitely starting to show, hey, maybe we're not going to get relegated this year. So you start looking at it. It's only a tie, but again, that's I have a B minus for Southampton, C plus for Leeds. Then you start getting into the bottom half. Newcastle, they had a tie with Brighton, but again, it comes down to what is your expectation. Brighton has Newcastle has new owners, big expectations, big name in England. Definitely expecting them with all the money they've spent to. I'm expecting them to break into the top 6. Tie's just not. That's it's not good enough, and that's why I have them at the C. Leicester City and Wolves, both of them with C's. Just not great results this weekend. And Leicester City losing to Arsenal. Strong team. Arsenal's, I think, definitely on the way back to the top 4. But again, they didn't get the result, so that you have to. That's just what it is. Wolves. I like Wolves, but again, a tie against Fulham, a team expecting to be relegated, isn't good enough. Now you get into the bottom pieces, and there's some definite surprises both this week and so far this season. Again, only 2 weeks in. Bournemouth, to me, again, they lost to Man City, completely expected. I don't think they did poorly against Man City, who's definitely one of the top teams in the world right now, but I give them a D. Losing 4-0 is losing 4-0. Everton, I have it as a D as well. Hopefully they get the ship righted. Hopefully, Frank Lampard just got everything situated, and they don't. I'd hate to see them get relegated, but again, not the result they wanted. Now we get into the three teams that so far this season and this week, utter disappointments, just complete utter disappointments. Liverpool, D. They got a tie, so I didn't give them an F, but one loss, one tie from a team that's expected to be the team to challenge Man City at the top this year, and it's just not good enough. I mean, the results aren't there. Right now, Liverpool's, what's probably making Liverpool fans maybe a little better is the struggles of the next two teams. West Ham, last year, really, fighting to be in the top six, and just poor results. I mean, they're not just, losing to Nottingham Forest, team just up into the Premiership. Again, I know they're playing at Nottingham Forest, but it's, they lost last week again to Man City, who's a strong team, but 2 weeks in a row, they're in the bottom. And then again, Man City fan, I'm going to have to smile at this. The only F I have this week is Manchester United. Utter, just 4-0 down at halftime. I'm guessing they took the foot off the pedal, but that's Manchester United F. I mean, that's just a horrible result. They can't keep, that's just, something's got to be done. I don't think it's a lack of talent, but I don't think they've lost direction. And, when Ferguson was there, obviously they had tons and tons of success. It's not that they've been unsuccessful, but they just can't seem to get the recipe right. The rumor I just saw is now that they finally let Ronaldo's people know that if he wants to go, they can find him a destination, and they are willing to sell at this point. But Manchester United, horrible result. Last place, again, West Ham, which has been disappointing this season, is smiling that Manchester United is bigger name and struggling even worse than they are. So that's my rankings for this week. If you don't agree, let me know, and see you next week at the Real Football Show.